it's Christina Ward, Christina and Company, Keller Williams Realty Boise, and this is my monthly market update. As some of you know, I do a weekly update on Monday mornings on Facebook Live at around 9:30 Mountain Standard Time. And then I do a deep dive into what we're looking at as far as last month in the charts and graphs. This month, I have a special surprise of some national charts and graphs that I got directly from Gary Keller, the creator of Keller Williams Realty International. So I'm going to go into the local market first, and then stay tuned for the end, because then I'll go into Gary's graphs that include, COVID numbers, GDP, unemployment, looking at the last recession versus this one, and what the differences are. Really just interesting data to share. And of course, it's the national data, so different things happening in Boise, Idaho, but good information to know about for our fun predictions of the future. Never predict the future, but we always like to try it. So this is what I'm going to share with you later, so stay tuned. So here is Ada County resale real estate for October 2020. It was another excellent month. We saw the whole month, 172 listings for sale. 774 buyers went under contract, 878 buyers closed in October. Last year, looking year over year, there were 794 houses for sale. This year, 172. So what do you think happened to our market when that happened? Chaos, multiple offers, hurry up, let's write an offer when we see it, the second it comes in the market. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Not in every house, but a lot of houses that's happening. Definitely multiple offer situations. So lower inventory, but a little bit, not that much more, a little bit more buyers, 774 over 740 went under contract. So we're definitely starting to see that normal fall dip in buyers buying, but not normal listing increase. This inventory dip is not normal. This is unreal. If you look down here at the bottom, 0.2 months inventory. That's 6 days of inventory. That means if no new homes hit the market today, there's no houses for sale in 6 days. And all the way up until that $600,000 threshold, super similar low inventory. Over the 600, still a very strong seller's market. I'm seeing the luxury market really shift right now. There's very few houses for sale and a lot of buyers locally and out of state coming in with cash, or with a lot of cash to put down. I've talked to a few CPAs, and they said that they feel like those middle income earners, their tax difference isn't going to be that much to move to Idaho, but those upper higher income earners will see a big tax difference in Idaho versus California. So that could be one of the reasons why they're moving here. And that could really shift our luxury market, which we've already seen 1.6 months inventory over the $1 million mark. That's awesome. I had a listing, almost 1.2 million hit the market, and in 4 days it received 2 cash offers and sold for 1.3. The last sale in the neighborhood was under 1 million. So very happy to see that happen in that area. Definitely breaking ceilings right now in all price ranges. So we have to look at the past, what sold 3 months ago, but then based on inventory and buyers, which we don't know the number of buyers today, right? We can never, there's no graph for that. But just based on our predictions, we can push the price a little bit, but I'm still finding to come in at market price and then do some really strong strategies for listing to generate multiple offers and to drive those prices up. And it also gets our clients great terms, not just price, but the 2 that I got under contract last week, no inspection, no appraisal, or, some protection around those areas. One of them has earnest money, non-refundable, just some really good things for the sellers. The average price in Ada County is $410,000. And our prices have gone up this year 13.2%. So I thought we'd look at new construction, because new construction has been interesting. The past, since the recession, builders have not been able to build like they used to because the financing wasn't there. So we've really had low inventory. Partly one of the reasons why we've had low inventory for the past several years is 1, people are holding on to their houses for longer. 2, builders are not building as much. So, and then many other factors, but those are some 2 very strong factors to cause our inventory to be low. So our October numbers for new construction in Ada County, 320 for sale. Last year, 948. And we've really seen a huge buyer increase. So those buyers grabbed those listings and took them off the market. Not very different from this graph, right? Because there's just a little bit of a buyer increase. This is where all the buyers are at, because they look at what's for sale and they go, all right, there's nothing for sale that I want to buy. So then I'm going to go try to build a house. And that's what we're doing. Highly recommend buyers out there that are building to get buyer representation. Your home is being built by a human being, and you need a human being to represent you that's on your side, not the builder's side. So there's my public service announcement. It doesn't cost you anymore. Just have a human being, a realtor, a good one, represent you. 320 for sale, 1236 under contract, 774 the year before. These are a lot of build jobs, I'm going to predict, based on those numbers. The closing numbers not being much higher. So we've got a lot more build jobs going on. 0.9 months inventory, less than a month inventory for new construction. And just a reminder, if you want your market area, if you live in Southeast Boise, or you live on the Bench, or if you live in Star, if you live in Caldwell and Southeast Meridian, let me know and I will get you your market area. Just send me an email or text or message, call, anything. Canyon County is where our first-time homebuyers are going right now, because there's a little bit more affordable housing and a few more options under that 300 or 350 range. So the average price in Canyon County is $286. And just to remind you, 410 in Ada County. Where am I? Yeah, 286 in Canyon County. For 95 houses for sale last year, 343. 367 buyers under contract last year, 340. So not a big change there. 0.3 months inventory. Yeah, it's a seller's market. It goes into a balanced market at above 800 and then to a buyer's market over $1 million. But everything else is under 800 in Canyon County is a seller's market. I would love for you to message me with questions or thoughts or something else you're seeing that I'm not seeing. I like talking about this kind of stuff. I'll even set up a Zoom call with you if you want to go into a deep dive on the market. This is fun stuff. So this is COVID cases since February till October of this year, just so we can kind of see that graph. And then here is unemployment, and this shows our unemployment for just this year. We only have data for this year, and then the longer span of the Great Recession. So you can see that we peaked at higher this year unemployment than we did the whole time while we were in the Great Recession. We've recovered faster too. But what Gary said when he was showing us this graph is that even though we're recovering pretty close to being similar to May 2013, that unemployment rate up here with people not spending money, or the effects to people being unemployed, will trickle down to a lot of different industries and markets this year and next year. So this is pretty fascinating. It's unemployment per category. So we're really seeing, some areas do well right now. Some people are doing awesome with their jobs. They're like, not saying yay for COVID, but they're saying 2020 has been a great year. Hopefully saying it humbly, because some people have had to struggle. Definitely the leisure hospitality is struggling the most. There is some improvement that we're seeing there, but it's, Gary also mentioned we're not necessarily it's just that those areas are opening up. So travel is opening up. Doesn't mean we're through the recession or through the pandemic, but we might see some improvement just because they're more open. But we've also seen a lot of layoffs. Unfortunately, I've heard of a lot of pilots get laid off, and different people in the travel, leisure, hospitality, travel trade. I also heard from my uncle, who is high up at FedEx, that FedEx is just as busy this week than they are Christmas week. So be careful with your packages and try to get them out early for Christmas, because I think that no spending in the earlier this year is causing a lot more spending and confidence right now. And it's just going to be an interesting few weeks going into the holidays with mail packages. Unemployment and housing by age. So this is really interesting. Our young folks are more unemployed and then buying less houses. And then 25 to 35, they're at 8.7% unemployment, 25% of the market buying real estate. But our biggest group of people that are doing well are 35 and up. So that's Our professionals, higher income earners, and retirees are the ones that are buying real estate that's employment hasn't been affected as much. I believe this is for 2020. Yeah. Oh yeah, September 2020. There you go. GDP. So earlier this year, first quarter, second quarter was pretty good in the 2s, and then first quarter, second quarter of 2019 was in the 2s. First quarter 2020, before the pandemic started, very interesting. Well, I guess it started in the end of first quarter, was at -5, and then second quarter at -31. Never seen that before. That's that trickle-down effect that Gary was talking about that might affect many industries and markets for a while. People not spending money has a long-term effect. This is GDP looking at history since '89. So our full year is only at -4, but that's still worse than we've ever seen since '89. And then this shows GDP in the Great Recession. We're worse than that. Just reporting the numbers, you guys. Home sales, now this is national, not Boise, but this is interesting, I think, to look at. It's comparing 19 over 20. So we've definitely seen an increase in number of houses sold, and last year was a great year. So we're seeing a better year this year than last year in the number of houses sold, year-over-year change. So June was down, May was down, April was down, but June started to recover. July, August, and September are months we may never ever see again. I mean, we just blew it out of the water, people, Americans and realtors. There was a lot of real estate transferred in July, August, and September. And Gary's predicting next year nationally is going to look a little bit more like June. So not good, not bad. This is bad, right? This is not good. No, I don't know if bad. This is not really good at all. And then June recovering, but not. He's just not going. He's not expecting to see this kind of numbers next year. I'll show you some of the reasons why. So home prices are have appreciated 7.9% this year, year over year. And just to remind you, just this year in Ada County, our appreciation is 13.2. So we have, better appreciation than the nation, which makes sense because so many people are moving here. And this is the average price, $312, and our county is $410. The little Boise, Idaho is more expensive than the nation. Very interesting. Here's months of supply year over year. So you see that 2.7 months inventory. Ours is 0.2 months. Gary had agents post their city and what their inventory levels were. And okay, New York City posted 11 months inventory, downtown Chicago 18 months, and downtown Boston 6 months. So the bigger cities are experiencing a buyer's market, and the smaller cities that people are moving to are experiencing a seller's market. Remember, we have a trickle effect from the bigger cities, so we want to watch them. San Francisco is going through the same thing. Although we're in a pandemic where people don't want to live in big cities. So, but still, we need to keep an eye on that. This is loan delinquency. This doesn't count for forbearance, so it's at 3%. So 3% of America is 90 days or more delinquent on their mortgage. This is a trend from 98. It's been at under 1%, and then peaked up to 6% in the Great Recession, and then we've seen this peak up to 3%. There wasn't forbearances though, so forbearances are sitting at about 8%. So there are people that have agreed upon contract with their lender. They're not going to be making their payments, and 8% of America are not making their payments through forbearances. Gary and Jay, based on their research, expect to see that trickle into our market and potentially affect our market. It's going to cause more inventory to come on the market, right? In first quarter, second quarter of next year. So we just have never done forbearances before like this, so we don't know what to expect, but we do expect an effect on our market. Gosh, this is like an animal, right? So it ends up being, all of us just look at this and dissect and try to make decisions based on this. And I always tell people, do what's best for you. Like, decide, do you need to buy a house? Do you need to move? Can you afford your next house? And if you look at interest rates, it's an incredible opportunity to be buying real estate right now that you can afford, that you can live in long term. An amazing opportunity to be selling real estate when your buyers are buying at such a low interest rate because it's more money in your pocket. I mean, proof on that $1.3 million house selling. It's just incredible. I could have never expected that. So that's leverage of a great market for sellers, great opportunities right now. And we just don't know what the future holds, but we're thinking and planning optimistically, but also planning cautiously. And if the market shifts, geez, there's going to be some great opportunities for some folks and some challenging times for some folks. But we're excited to serve, excited to give you data on your house. So just let me know if you ever have questions, if you need a quick market analysis, if you have a dream or thoughts about moving somewhere else. It doesn't have to be right now, but would love to start a conversation. Christina Ward, Christina and Company at Keller Williams Realty, and thanks for watching. And let me know what you think.